Today is Sunday, it's my birthday, which means a few things. It means I'm having beer for breakfast, gin for lunch, and I'm cooking up my favourite meals. This is the Weber Go Anywhere, and for me it is probably, for value wise, it's probably the best portable barbecue money can buy. Alright, I mean that. This thing is incredible. I've had this for years. I've taken it around all sorts of different places. I've bashed it around. You can see there's some damage on the lids, and it's just been absolutely rock steady, and I love it. But that doesn't mean it's going to get packed on the campervan when we go and live in the van. And I'm going to talk through why that it probably won't be coming on the van, even though I love this thing. But before we do that, let's just kind of talk about why I love it. So for me, this is your traditional barbecue. You put some coal in the bottom, you've got a nice grill gate, you've got a lid which allows you to cook stuff more evenly through. So on the lid you've got the ventings. Now these vents means you can open them up, close them up, and that will really help control the amount of heat that you've got inside the barbecue when it's on. And I really like that feature. It gives me a lot of control over the heat, which many other barbecues don't allow. A lot of barbecues you just literally light a fire, cook over it, job's good. But if you're cooking chicken and stuff like that, it's nice to have a lid and just pop the lid down and let that heat work as a bit of an oven effect. The other thing I like about this barbecue is you can do indirect cooking on it. Now, let me just quickly explain what direct and indirect is. Direct is when you've got a full bed of coals and you're cooking directly over the coals. Indirect is when you have maybe half of the barbecue with coals in it and the other half without coals underneath. And what that means is you can put maybe a chicken thigh on this side that isn't directly over the coal, pop your lid on, and it's going to work more like an oven on that side, whereas that side's going to be like a hot grill. And this is brilliant for doing indirect cooking, even though it's quite a small barbecue. Now the big Weber barbecues, the big round kettle ones, the 57cm ones, and you know, they are brilliant for the garden. I've actually got one in the garage that I sometimes use. And you know, Weber have really done well in this. It's quite a rock steady piece of kit. It's enamel coated, and there are loads of little things you can do if you're going camping. You can cut these grills in half so you can fit them both inside. You can then fit a chimney inside, fit your fuel inside. And what I also like is that the lid can sit quite nicely on, which you can use as a windshield, but just more importantly, it means you don't have to worry about putting the lid down anywhere. You don't need a special holder or anything like that. You can just cook direct. Couple of other little features that I love about it, these bottom vents here. Typically you have them fully open. If you have them fully open, if you have the lid vents fully open, you're going to get the hottest barbecue cook that you can get, because all the oxygen's coming inside and it's producing lots of heat. When you're done cooking, this is what I love about the barbecue. When you're done cooking, you can close those vents down on both sides, you can close the lids, and that will starve the barbecue with oxygen, and it will put your barbecue out. And that means you can reuse your charcoal. You've got a bit of heat control on this barbecue. You can have these bottom vents halfway open. You can have the lid ones halfway open, and that's going to be a slightly lower heat. You can have them fully open, fully shut, one open, one closed. You can smoke on this thing. You can use a snake cooking method, which I'll talk about in a year's time when I get time to talk about it. But overall, if you're the sort of person that likes to go away for a weekend in the camper van and you like cooking traditional barbecue food like corn on the cob, steaks, burgers, sausages, for me, I don't think there's a better barbecue to do that whilst camping than this, the Weber Go Anywhere. But if you're going to be living in your van, do you want to take a Weber Go Anywhere with you? And let's talk about the reasons why you wouldn't. So, first of all, it's pretty big. I know it's quite a compact barbecue, but that's going to take up room, right? And we've already decided that we're going to be packing the Cobb barbecue because it's very versatile, gives me a filled oven, lets me cook recipes that I can't necessarily cook. So, it's going to take up a lot of room. It's a big rectangle, and I haven't really got room on the roof because I'm going to be putting a solar panel on there, and on the front luggage, we're going to be putting clothes in there. So, it's going to take up quite a bit of room. Secondly, it uses quite a bit of charcoal. That's quite a big bed in there, and if you're going to be cooking for, you know, 2-4 people, you kind of want the whole barbecue to have heat underneath it, or at least be kind of using the whole thing. So you're going to be going through half a bag of charcoal, which means you're only going to get 2 uses out of the charcoal. When I compare that to the Weber, sorry, not the Weber, when I compare that to the Cobb barbecue, I'm probably going to get maybe 7 uses out of a bag of charcoal versus 2 for this. So the Cobb is way more efficient, which means I have to carry less charcoal, which is cheaper and saves space. So this is, I guess, more expensive to run and doesn't save as much space. And lastly, the sort of food that this is great for cooking on is, for me, direct heat cooking. Like this big steak I've got here, when I want a nice big bed of charcoal, I could put fish on there, I could put steak on there, and I cook direct over the coals. Now, that's something that I really enjoy doing. It's a way I like to cook, and it's quite a traditional way to cook. But can I really pack this barbecue just for the odd occasion when I want to cook direct? And actually, I think I've got an alternative. It's this, our grills that we use. Now this can sit flat downways, and we think we're going to do a mod where we can fold down the legs and maybe just have a grill. But I could literally just have a grill that's flat, put some rocks underneath it and have a fire going underneath, or some charcoal going underneath, and I could use the lid. I could use the lid from the Cobb to kind of put fish underneath if I want to, or if I've got chicken underneath, just put the lid from the Cobb, because I'm going to be carrying that anyway. So do I need to take the Weber Go Anywhere with me? I don't think I do. But should you buy a Weber Go Anywhere? If you like going away for weekends, and I think there's a term, weekend warrior. If you're the sort of person that does quite a lot of weekends away in the camper van, get one. Because when you want that traditional barbecue and you want the smell of the charcoal going, you want to cook direct over the charcoal, I don't think you can beat this. So, Weber Go Anywhere barbecue. It's a fantastic barbecue. If you like going away for weekends, I would strongly recommend you get one. This thing is brilliant for burgers, steaks, fish. You can smoke with it, you can do indirect cooking. You can actually make this thing last quite a few hours if you really look up how to do it. If you build a bit of a wall, have charcoal on one end, have no charcoal on the other end, lid down, you can actually have it as a bit of a light smoker. And you can play around with it quite a bit, but for me, it's not worth the space on the camper van to be living in the van. So there we have it. If you want to live in your van, I wouldn't bother. If you want to go away quite a lot on weekends, the Weber Go Anywhere is a fantastic piece of kit. And I don't know which lucky member of family or friends is going to be looking after this for us whilst we're away. Kieran might want to have a little play around with this, so I might leave that in Kieran's capable hands and see what he does with it. But I love this thing. I think it's brilliant.